Hey guys, Smashing Pumpkin here, coming at you guys with the video real quick. I know I haven't really been doing the roundtable roundup discussions as I'd been planning to be doing them, but hopefully I'm going to get back on track with that. And I guess with that being said, this is Roundtable Roundup episode number 2. I'm going to be talking about the equip spells, and honestly there isn't a whole lot to be talked about. They do equip spell kind of things. They give you attack. They're kind of mediocre, which is but the thing about them is that they're essential for the deck to be run, and you kind of have to play all of them because there aren't really that many Noble Arms equip spells, so you can't really be picky and decide not to play some of them. So I'm just going to tell you what they do. They're pretty generic. The first one's Noble Arms of Gallatin. It gives you 1000 attack, so it's Axe of Despair, but it has a downside to it. During each of your standby phases, your monster does 200 attack, which isn't too bad because your monster is probably not going to be staying around for too long because of the amount of removal in the format, and probably in the formats to come too, so the likelihood of your monster staying in the field for 5 turns is pretty low. Second one is Noble Arms of Arfitir. That one's kind of hard to pronounce, so if I'm doing it wrong, just tell me. I'll just call it ARF. Basically what ARF does is that your monster loses 500 attack permanently, and it can blow up a face down card on the field. Now it's kind of cool, but the thing about it is that the attack loss is permanent, and even if the equip spell leaves. So it's not the best, but it's pretty good. In back row heavier formats, you'll probably play like 2 to 3, but as of right now, I'm not really sure about the numbers. The next one's Caliburn. Caliburn's pretty unimpressive. You gain 500 attack and you gain 500 life. It's kind of one of the ones that you're kind of forced into playing. So there's that one. Then there's Noble Arms of Destiny, which is honestly probably the best one, because once per turn your monster can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, so it gives your monsters that are pretty weak survivability, which is important. And the final one is Noble Arms of Excalibur, which is interesting. Your monster can't be targeted, which is nice. Kind of blurry on the effect, it's kind of complicated. Basically, the gist of it is if you have Artorigus on the field, you can overlay into the rank 5 Artorigus. I'll talk about those guys later though, but in any case, that's that with the equip spells. The other important thing to note about them is that whenever they're sent to the graveyard, you can re-equip them to a Noble Knight monster, which is kind of important because it doesn't really matter how the equip spell was sent to the graveyard, whether the monster was used for Exceed, Synchro, Tribute. It really doesn't matter, even if it's destroyed during the damage step, like you can still re-equip it, which is kind of interesting. Other than that, there isn't too much to say about these cards. They can also be equipped to warriors too, so you can give 1000 attack points to maybe like a Peplo Operative or a Blade Armor Ninja, something like that, which is kind of neat, or give them like survivability with Destiny. I think Noble Arms Excalibur can only be equipped to Noble Knight monsters, but I'm not entirely sure on that. I'll have the links to all the cards in the description if you want to check them out a little bit more. But yeah, give this one a like, guys. I always appreciate it. Any feedback you want is pretty cool. And hopefully I'm going to show you guys a deck list that I have right now for Noble Knights. It's a little bit outside of the norm for what Noble Knights actually do. I think that'll be coming up maybe next Thursday. And next Monday I'll talk about all the cards I haven't covered yet because they were released pretty recently. And that's that, and Smashing Pumpkin signing out. Peace.